All right. It's gonna be a 9 minute presentation. I believe it'll be more on the technical side. Although I do hope they release like a montage of games that will get the enhancement of PlayStation 5 Pro. I believe there will be a couple of games that they need to market in order to attract some consumers to buy the or to upgrade to the PS5 Pro. Well, and for those who don't have a PS5 yet, to get it right away, right? I believe there will be some, if they can get some third party developers to be included in this montage of sort. I hope to see Wukong. Maybe we can look forward to that. Maybe some Rebirth also, FF7 Rebirth, because those games they play really well. With some frame drops and some resolution scaling, but we can expect more improvement out of those games. What else? Maybe some Spider-Man or God of War for some first parties. Although they run really well on the PS5, it's just I would think the graphics mode at 4K 30 FPS can be improved to a 60 FPS, depending how powerful this PS5 Pro will be. I want to see like a locked 120 FPS also for multiplayer games. Like, I know X Defiant, Fortnite, Call of Duty, to name a few, they do run 120 FPS, but they are on resolution scaling, so they run at 1080p, but with dynamic resolution, they bump it up to 4K. I hope to see maybe like an improvement in a locked 120 FPS, and you can keep the dynamic 4K, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind a 1440p and a 120 FPS. That's kind of dreaming it, considering I don't know how much of an improvement this PS5 Pro will be, but I believe it's possible. You know, let's see. Big hopes, big hopes. Um, my prediction of when the release date will be is probably November. I think that would be the best because that will be after Black Friday and maybe late November, after Black Friday and before the holidays. I think that's the most best release date for them. I haven't read a lot about the PS5 Pro. Is there a release date? Yeah, there. I just mentioned it. No release date yet, but that's my prediction. If not, because I think they want that holiday rush, right? That we're close to the holidays, and every kid with a rich parent would ask for a PS5 Pro instead of a PS5. But at the same time, if a PS5 Pro does come out, it'll also look good for the PS5 because you wouldn't need a PS5 Pro. I don't think a lot of us need it. It's just if you want that extra bump of resolution, extra bump of FPS, extra bump of performance, in terms of like frame rate, so there's no frame drops. I believe people like me who are sensitive on performance of games. I think a good PS5 Pro would be in the horizon. But I do want to wait for an anniversary PS5 Pro theme of a PS1. A gray one would be awesome. I'd wait for that. I'd buy that instead of like getting it early. I believe that would be a good limited edition, collector's edition to have on your display, or to keep forever. Like the resale value for the 30th anniversary, even used, would be really great, right? The volume.
Finally, the DualSense controller has
Oh, we are so
haptics
late.
that let you feel through your
Okay.
hands what your character is experiencing inside.
Oh, I still have no camera.
It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experience.
Okay, at least the intro. It's just the
Creators have
intro.
made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger
How's the
than being
volume, guys?
supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players.
Is it good, Siren?
Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory.
Big 3, 67%.
The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster.
Wow, that's a big rendering. Wow,
Second,
45%?
we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
Triple the
And finally,
speed?
we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
Wow, that's a long name.
Short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro.
So, what's the frame
It
rate?
has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
This looks good.
Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at
I
30
see
frames
it.
per second.
Okay, I
and is
see a bit of
therefore
detail.
much choppier.
Just 30. I was right. That's what we called
This
earlier.
goal of delivering
During the
almost
pre-show.
fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2
Knew it.
and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
It is sharper.
For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So
My juice is
overall,
finished.
some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This
Okay.
is the Big 3 showing their value. As you've been
I
seeing,
mean, I can let
machine
go of
learning
ray
via the
tracing,
PSSR library is being
but
used quite broadly to add
let's
pixel
see.
detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that
Damn,
extra
should I play
graphics
this
power
game
is
again on
allowing
a
for
PS5
improvements
Pro?
to lighting and visual
Time to
effects,
save some money. I don't think everyone needs it though, but
as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
yeah, I'll be really spoiled to upgrade.
For me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second.
Cool.
That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy.
Wow, those
allowing
that
not only
okay.
for
Ray
better
tracing looks good there.
reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces.
So this is the
but
first
also
third
for
party
further
they're
realism
showing
in
off?
the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro.
Look at it, it's
Simply
done.
put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Ooh, here we go. The montage I was talking about. Oh, is this the? Oh shit! Here we go. This is how it looks like. And the Adidas. Damn, the leak was right. They got it. Of course, they need Spider-Man to run the 4K 60. Oh, FF Rebirth! Yeah! You get a better Rebirth. Okay, I'm getting a Pro. Shit. You know what's crazy about them just showing Zack? DLC. That's what's crazy about it. Adidas, yeah, the Adidas PS5. Ooh, Ghost of Tsushima? I'd play that again. I'd play that again. It'll be funny if they show an Xbox game. Should I play Hogwarts again too? The thing with Hogwarts, it's an open world. It just takes too long. Of course, show Final Fantasy. Of course. $700. Okay. November 7th. I was right. Well, not late November, but close. Close. Cool. Alright, guys. That's it.